Hey everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Jash. I am your host today, and we will be making one of my favorite dishes. It is a shrimp and chicken basil pesto pasta. Mouthful, I know, but the ingredients are very minimal. So I'll take you through the ingredients for today. They have a few of my favorite things, so I'm really going to enjoy this meal that we're making. So you're going to need about 500 grams of peeled shrimp. I prefer the tail on, it just kind of absorbs a bit more flavor. The juice of half a lemon. You will need, for the basil pesto, which we will be making today, pine nuts, or you can use any other nuts. You can use almonds or walnuts. You will need about, my other favorite, garlic. So about 4 cloves, some freshly grated, I've got Romano cheese, or you can use Parmesan. I have about 4 hefty pieces of chicken breast here that I have cut in half to make them a little bit thinner. Spaghetti, you can also decide to use fettuccine if you like. We'll need some pepper, some oregano leaves, olive oil, salt, and today's star, some fresh basil. Don't think I missed anything, but that is what you'll need for today. Very simple. So let's actually start with prepping the chicken. To start, we're going to dice up the chicken, since this takes a little bit longer to cook than the shrimp. So I'm just going to dice these into bite-sized chunks. Then we're going to season it with some salt, pepper, and some oregano. So they're about maybe 1-inch cubes. There's the chicken. So as I mentioned, we're just going to season this with a little bit of salt and pepper and oregano. Then we're going to transfer it to the pan. So I kind of just go off the books, and I don't really measure things, I just season things as I see fit. But if you want more precise ingredients, I will post that for you in the description below. Okay, chicken is ready. What I'm going to do is heat up my pan. Add in about a tablespoon of olive oil to it, let it heat up, then we're going to cook the chicken. Alright, so I heated about a tablespoon of olive oil to a pan, so just going to dump the chicken in. So you want to have a big enough pan so that everything kind of cooks evenly. So I'm going to let it cook on one side for about 6 minutes. Then we're going to come back to flip it. So in the meantime, what I'll do is put the pasta water to boil. So I've salted it. I'm going to put it on high, let that boil, and I'm going to start to trim the leaves off the basil so that we can prepare our pesto. So excited! So I'm just trimming my plant. You're going to need about 2 cups of basil. I'm going to packed cup, so you want to make sure that there's plenty of basil to go around. Okay, so here's the basil, nice and rinsed. Next up, we're going to juice the half lemon. We only need about a tablespoon, and the rest of the lemon juice we're actually going to use for the shrimp. There we go. Okay, so leave that to the side. You can toast your pine nuts as an optional step. So for about 2-3 minutes, that's what I did pre-video, just to see what it tastes like. You will need about half a cup of olive oil, a 1/4 cup of that shredded cheese. So from this lemon juice, we're only going to use about 1 tablespoon. For the basil pesto, we've got our 2 cups of basil, and I have 2 garlic cloves here, just roughly chopped. And I believe, and a pinch of salt. That is what we will need. Now let's add it to the blender. So there's our basil, our garlic, our 1/3 cup of pine nuts. I'm gonna add in the cheese. I'm gonna get 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Perfect. And the olive oil we're actually going to save while it blends, but we're just going to add a pinch of salt, just like so. Alright, now we can cover this lid and blend. Alright, let's keep this to the side, flip our chicken over. Alright, so I like it when my chicken's a little bit brown. So right now, we're just going to cook it for a few more minutes on the other side. There we go. And then we'll toss them around to brown them up. So our pasta water is almost ready. So while that still goes and while our chicken finishes up, we can actually start to season the shrimp. Alright, let's head back over to the cutting board, season the shrimp, and hopefully the pasta water will be done. We can toss it in, and things will start to get rolling. Shrimp, we're pretty much going to season it the same way as the chicken, because I like with every bite to taste the seasoning. I like every bite that I have to have flavor. So I'm going to use the remainder of that lemon that I had juiced, add that to the shrimp. We're going to do some pepper, some more dried oregano, or oregano. Sprinkle, sprinkle. A little splash of salt. Cool. And I'm just going to toss that around. Now the shrimp take about maybe 5 minutes to cook, so that's why I am saving it for last. Cool. We'll keep that there. Pasta water not boiled yet, so I'm going to transfer this pesto to a bowl. I'm just going to sit back, relax, and wait for everything to finish up. See you soon. Okay, so I'm going to use a full pack of pasta as it feeds about 8 servings. I don't know about you, but I love to crack my pasta in half. So do whatever you like. I just like it this way. There you go. Toss that in. Just going to stir it around. There we go. Going to cover it up, let that cook till it is about al dente, and then we will strain. And over here looks like the chicken is almost ready. Covered it with a lid to help it just cook a little bit faster. Now the last step that I like to do is, like I mentioned earlier, is cook it so it's a little bit brown. So I'm going to leave it on for a couple more minutes. Then we can head to our shrimp. Alright, chicken is done, so we're just going to transfer to a plate so that we can add the shrimp. Alright, perfect. So I'm going to add in another drizzle of olive oil. Then we're going to add in the shrimp. You can always use 2 separate pots, but less dishes, you know? Okay. There we go. Alright, so we're going to cook the shrimp until it is pink on one side, and then we are going to flip them over. So about 2 minutes right here. I'll see you soon. The pasta is ready! Let's go! Alright, the shrimp is ready. It is all coming together. Our next step is to just warm up the pesto, throw everything together, bada bing, bada boom. I am kind of just cooking a little bit of garlic here as I love the garlic flavor. One thing that I did forget was the cherry tomatoes. So I cut them in half. I'm going to dump these in. Oh, we lost half. And by the way, look at this lovely pesto. It's so bright and green. I'm going to add this to the tomatoes and the garlic. Heat that up. There we go. So you just want the tomatoes to soften a little bit. So not long, maybe about a minute or so. And then, take a closer look at this. Smells so beautiful right now, so we're just going to let that sit there for a minute, then we can start adding everything in. Pesto is heated, so now it's time to add all the ingredients together. So you might think, man, Jash, that's a lot of pasta and stuff, but trust me, it will coat everything. So let's add the chicken. Add the shrimp. And now we toss to coat. Shrimp, some tomato, some chicken. There we go. Alright. Now for some little added extras, we can do a drizzle of some of that cheese from earlier and add in some fresh parsley to this dish, liven it up, add some color, and there you have it. Jashly's special recipe. It is your chicken and shrimp basil pesto pasta. Bon appetit!